Dyad's probably most easily described by saying it's along the lines of a Tempest or a Rez or an N2O. It's a tunnel shooter racer sort of deal that does its best to overload your senses. But Dyad's definitely upping the ante here in terms of twitchy, precise gameplay mechanics and mind-melting sensory experiences. Dyad starts simple and ratchets up its difficulty by adding more and more to keep track of every level. In the beginning, you learn that you can hook enemies. Hook 2 enemies that are the same color in the row and you get a speed boost. Great, you think, I'm good at Dyad. Then you learn that by grazing enemies while boosting, you can fill up an attack gauge that lets you lance, which is smashing through a bunch of enemies in a row. Then you learn that certain enemies block lances. Then you learn that certain enemies throw out zip lines, or throw lasers, or require you to spin at the last minute, or a million other little things that just all combine and combine and combine. It has that great feeling of just always being a little bit ahead of you, a little too fast, a little too hard to get. You really feel like you're holding on and just barely making it through levels in the best way possible. And that's just gameplay. Let's talk about the flashing colors and the lovely sounds that are there to distract you. Everything in Dyad is very reactive to you. Some levels sound terrible until you realize you're just not doing well enough. Speed up and the music speeds up with you, turning into a beautiful track. Sometimes something might seem like it's missing, and then you perfectly lance a string of enemies and you see that you're playing a melody that wasn't there before. Sound effects or common occurrences change from level to level, and visual effects stack and disappear as you do better. And Lord, when you're doing poorly, Dyad tells you. Everything changes from a pleasant light show to this cacophonous nightmare that makes your pulse race or genuinely makes you anxious. If you like that sort of thing, you're gonna love the hell out of Dyad because it does it better than any other game I've ever played. But it also overdoes it from time to time, to the point of just being annoying. And since you need to beat a level to unlock the next, it can be a serious drag when you come up against a level that's too busy and loud and ugly. Doing perfectly in levels unlocks trophy modes, little challenges that swap up a variable in the level. Do well on that, and you unlock a sandbox mode for that level, letting you turn it into your own personal and controllable sound and light show. It adds a lot of replay value. There are also great stat and leaderboard details baked in. You can see how well you did on each section of each level based on specific metrics or compare and contrast with your friends. Dyad is gorgeous and it is fun to play, but it's also a wonderful experiment in seeing how a game can affect your mood. Just use your own physical and emotional reactions to stimulus against you. It's fun to notice like, oh, this music is making me nervous to throw me off, and then just decide not to let it get to you. It's taking a classic gameplay style and doing something really new and really innovative with it. I give it a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love Dyad, but I know that this is a kind of game and a genre of game that is pretty divisive. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments if you're thinking about picking it up, if it looks good to you. And tomorrow, I'm going to have the developer and designer of Dyad, Sean McGrath, in the studio to talk a little bit about the game and play through some of it for you live there in the studio. So be sure that you have subscribed so you don't miss that. We're at Rev3Games on Twitter. We're here on YouTube at youtube.com/Rev3Games. And you can send me questions for Sean on Twitter at @Carboni or down below in the comments, and we will see you tomorrow.